Hey everyone, today I wanted to bring you guys along as I refinish the texture of the canvas. I want to make this a nice smooth surface, and I know that I talked about this in a previous art haul video about having this desire to want to do this to the rest of my canvases, so I'm finally doing it today. I have my gesso here, so what I'm going to do is put several layers of gesso on the canvas, and then once it's all dry, I have two different sandpapers here. This one is a very coarse finish for like really getting a lot smoothed down, and then this one is a very fine grit, so it's going to be good for like that final finish buffed kind of texture, and I'm excited to experiment with both of these. I also have a palette and a nice fat soft brush for applying the gesso. So I don't know if you guys can see what's going on here. Let's see if it'll autofocus well or not. But do you see all that texture on the canvas? Yeah, see, you can see that. That is what I'm trying to diminish. And so the reason that texture exists, for those who don't know, what canvas is generally a piece of linen, and the linen is woven together, has threads like this that weave together to make the canvas. So if you've got a thin layer of gesso on the canvas, then that texture is still very apparent. So when you're taking like pictures of your painting, a lot of the times you've got a really high definition camera, which you want to take the pictures, but also what it'll do is it will pick up all that texture in your image. Same thing with the scanner. So what I'm doing now is I'm just pre-treating them so that they're smooth, so that when I do take my images and go to put them into Photoshop for prints, I don't have to retroactively remove all this texture. So this canvas is just a store-bought, I probably bought this online, had it shipped to me in a pack. And just when you are buying canvas and not doing it yourself, stretching yourself, gessoing it yourself, you do want to pay attention to the finish that it comes with. And the reason I say that is because I have had canvases be really, really textured and only have a very thin layer of gesso, and then I've had them be kind of smoother. So that's something you want to look at, and kind of, if finish is something that you are concerned with for your finished painting, then you do want to pay attention to that before you go and paint on it. And different canvas brands have different ones. Actually, even the same brands will sometimes have varying finishes. So that's something to definitely pay attention to, and you know, take that into consideration before you start your painting, because you may need to do what I'm doing now. Alright, let's get started. So I have done several layers of gesso on my canvas, and I lost track of how many exactly. I think I did 5, so I'll have to go back and look at the footage and see. So now that I've got several layers of gesso, you can see, let's get it to focus. Oh, come on. Of course, the first time you did it perfect. Alright, so you can see that there's still some texture even though I have painted the gesso on in several layers. Oh, come on, you're so close to focusing. Alright, yeah, so you see there's still all that texture on it from the brushstroke. It looks smoother in some areas and not so smooth in others. So that's what we're gonna try and sand out. And hopefully you guys will learn from my mistakes, because I rubbed instead of patted. And what ended up happening was right here, I pulled off a big piece of tacky gesso, and I pulled off several layers out from underneath it and made it all clunky and stuff. So I think I can sand that out, but it's just going to be a little bit harder. I'll spend a lot more time there. So when you are gessoing and you're not sure if it's dry, pat. Do not rub, because you might do what I did. Hello, focus. Alright, so ordinarily I would do this outside, because it is going to make a bit of a mess, I imagine. But like I said, it's raining here, so do it right here, and I'll just be sure to vacuum when I'm done. So let's get started. Alright, so I'm going to start with my more coarse one here, and I'm actually just going to put it over this one so it's easier to hold. I'm going to focus on the difficult part, the part where I messed up, and see if I can just kind of sand some of that down. Maybe not. Alright, so that actually worked really well. And I think I'm going to do some coarse everywhere, and then I'll do the softer, finer ones to make it even more smooth. Yeah. So what the coarse is doing, actually it's scratching a little bit, so that's why I'm just using the coarse on the parts where it's really big, and then I'm just going to kind of lightly everywhere else. Alright you guys, so I think I did 3 layers of coarse and then the fine, and honestly this is way smoother than it was. It's super smooth to touch. I don't know if you can see on the camera how much smoother it is from before, but it still got some texture in there, but it's so much more diluted, and I think if I were to keep going layers and layers with it, it'll remove a lot of that. And the true test, of course, is going to be painting on it. So I'm really excited to try that out. I might still do a couple more layers of sanding it down. I might still do a couple more, let's see how that does. Alright, I might do a couple more layers of sanding it down. But right now I'm pretty happy with this surface. It's way smoother than a traditional canvas. So I'm excited. And yeah, hopefully this helps you guys out, and let me know about your experimentation. I know some people have been doing this with plaster, which might work really well, but I don't know if plaster is going to be the right surface. I really like gesso. It's kind of a nice absorbent or semi-absorbent surface. So let me know, guys. And of course, new videos every Friday, and I've got originals and prints in my shops, the shop, www.whitneypaigeart.com. And as always, check out my Patreon. I've got fun rewards, and the lowest tier is $1, so even if it's just like $1 you're supporting me with, I'll make sure to get you guys cool rewards, and every little bit helps, guys. So yeah, and if not, of course, prints, spread the word. There's a million ways you can support an artist. Just even just subscribing to a video is a wonderful way. Subscribing to a channel. It's a great way to support an artist. So, alright guys, love you, bye.